Well, hey friends, today I'm going to be showing you how to make something like this, or maybe this, or maybe this in Cinema 4D and Clo3d and Octane. So if you open up Cinema 4D, you're going to get a screen like this. Go to Window, Asset Browser, and then just search for a male. And we're gonna pull in this naked male. Pretty rad. And then file, export selected objects as an FBX. I do the most recent version of FBX. Seems to work fine. Save it somewhere, and then go ahead and go to her. You go to mixamo.com. Mixamo. So yeah, just find your file, upload it to Mixamo. Should be pretty quick. Next, assign these little pointers to your guy. Apologies for my voice. I hope I don't have the dirty vibe, but it's that time of year. I'll just sit here alone anyway, so should be no harm, no foul. Oh no. Perfect. So now we're just waiting for the auto rigger. And so from here we want to download two poses. So we want the T pose. Download. And then really any other pose that you want. You just need the T pose. So you could do like a dancing little thing. They've got plenty of fun animations here. I'm just gonna go for a walk cycle. One where he's not looking too smug, and one where he's walking in place. And then also you want to be mindful of the where his arm's going. Done a lot of these projects in the past couple of days, and sometimes the arms get weird. So you want to download this one too. FBX 30 frames per second works fine. I usually just interpolate it later, and it's not that big of a deal. To go back to 24, and then I'll do like motion blur in After Effects. But if you want to do 24 or 60 or anything, go for it. So now we're back in Cinema 4D. File, merge objects, grab that T pose, and go ahead and open it. Don't reassign the included takes, that's a trap. You don't need this guy, so you can delete it. Render, nope, animate, add motion clip, and then label this T. Press OK. These are the settings that I have. I think they're default. I don't think I did anything fancy, but I may have. And then you can honestly just delete that again. And then we go to the walking cycle. And then do not reassign the included takes. Go to animate, add motion clip, and label it walk. Okay, and then click on this motion clip button. Open in timeline. Drag this guy up a bit. And bring that T in. Maybe drag this over. Bring that T in right before it. Drag a few more frames of T. And then he'll go into his walk cycle. Press H on the keyboard to center everything that you have going on. So I brought in this walk cycle again, put it at the end, H on the keyboard again, and I'm gonna do like, 150 frames of walk cycle. Because they're not super loopable once you get dynamics going on. They're loopable to an extent, but sometimes you still get issues. So this is what you have so far. You got your little dude walking. Pretty radical. I'm gonna save this project. Walking man. And then from here, I'm gonna hit Shift C on the keyboard. Pull up another null. Nope. Down one. You want that one. Bring these both into the null and then select the null. File, export selected objects as alembic. These are my alembic settings. And then really the only thing that I have to change, I did that too quickly, sorry. Export selected objects as alembic. The only thing that I change is the end frame. Selection only, camera subdivision surface, there's no, well I guess there's no cameras and there's no subdivision surface, so. And then, doesn't matter what you export it as here, I just do centimeters, but you just need to remember that it's centimeters, and then T2 walk tutorial, save, bingo, and then so now we're gonna open up Clo3d. God, my voice is really fucking weird today. Click through all of these fun things and wait for it to load. Don't recover the autosave file. This isn't the most stable application out there, which is kind of annoying. I could be doing everything wrong too, but this is the quickest way that I found to do it. And I did a lot of these last week, like a lot, so. Tutorials, assets, T2 walk tutorial. So you're gonna import the alembic file. I choose to go with alembics because I like the way that they work. And the FBXs, if you do FBXs, sometimes you can get wonky with how it tries to cut some corners, but and different programs interpret them differently. But alembics are pretty foolproof. So make sure that this is on centimeters, 30 frames per second, and go for it. And then, so you got your little avatar, you can check to make sure it's moving. If you go to animation, then you should play this. I know, walk really fast. Go back to simulation, and then here, so if you go to clo-set.com, you can download a bunch of stuff. If I want this digital hoodie and, or no, I can't download that one. Usually I just do free, and then I'll look for like a hoodie. I got some kinky stuff here. Yeah, this is the hoodie that I have. I'll just go through this process again for you. Just go ahead and download it. And then right click on this, copy the path. Go into your Explorer, go into this path. And then paste this there and extract it. But I already have it there. So I can just drag and drop my hoodie.zpack right over here. And then this is a chick hoodie. So we get to go through the process of binding this to our mans right now. So if you just kind of grab these things, you can pull them out. Yeah, so I'm pausing right here because if I need to add some arrangement points to this avatar. So I'll go to avatar editor, arrangement points, and then you can just load these default arrangement points and whatever this guy is called. And then you can move these around. Skirt. the like 3D, maybe I'm just not used to it. It's not the most intuitive or like precise 3D GUI that I've had. The axes are kind of weird in this program, but you know, you do what you can. So I'm gonna select, thank you Avatar Editor, you did your job. Select this and go to reset 3D arrangement, and then reset 3D arrangement, reset 3D arrangement, and reset 3D arrangement. One of these guys needs to be like here. Oh, so you select this and then you press right there. That's how you do that. That is opposite of what we wanted. It's not. I hope you guys get the drift and goes a little smoother for you than this, but we're essentially just arranging these guys around our mans. Save this project because unfortunately Clo crashes quite a bit. Lumps. And then to start the simulation, you press this arrow key. It's quite the athletic fit for our guy. Nice little medium fit, looking pretty good. You can like scale these up. One of my favorite tricks is just to go to the shrinkage and put like 200 there to make it a little baggier. It's really up to you. I like the weird baggy looks too. And then on this, if you select all your patterns, you can decrease your particle distance to say 5 millimeters, and that'll get you just a little icier of a render. Or of a simulation, and then it might slow down a bit, but then you can go to preferences, simulation properties, and change it to your GPU, and that'll speed it right back up. If you have a 3090 like me. If you have any like NVIDIA graphics card, you should be fine. But so we got this sweet hoodie on our guy now. I'm gonna add some pants. But you want to add the pants, definitely not. You don't want to open the pants. Select these guys over here. I'm just going to freeze this hoodie for now. Freeze and hide. And then we're gonna work on the pants. So press our magic button, get the simulation started, save it again. We love Clo3d. And then with these guys, I'll usually make them elastic so that it sticks to the waist a bit. You can kind of like, you can hike them up a bit. Yeah. And then you can edit the points, the physical points on here. I don't really like the taper. Pretty American Eagle looking. We want luxury here. Not being elitist, just being realistic. Okay, cool. So now we got our pants. We can show this guy and unfreeze this guy. And we could go to animation and just render this out. But I'm gonna make these guys puffy because I think it looks cool. So I'm gonna select this. Nope. This little line thing. Offset this guy as an internal line. Maybe 200 millimeters. No, let's do 150. Do 3 of them. Okay. And then do the same to this and to this and to this and to this and do it again to this. Perfect. So that just adds little sewing marks. And I might, oops. This guy is, when it's in the simulation, please don't crash. Okay. Cool. You can mess with the hood and put it over his head. If that's what you're into. And this guy needs to be active, this little arrow button. Sometimes it'll mess with the normals if you're like messing with the garment too much. So this isn't like a really super in-depth Clo3d tutorial. Because there's ways to not do that. But I don't really mind it. It doesn't really affect the final thing too much. I might decrease the shrinkage on this guy. 150. So it's a little closer. Okay, so now is the really exciting part. You're going to layer clone over. Wait for it to do its thing. And then select all of your layer clone overs and add pressure with that button. And then start the simulation again. Ooh, big oof. Ooh, maybe it won't crash. Might be a bit too much pressure for the shrinkage. You gotta get the shrinkage to pressure ratio pretty good. I don't know why it's like levitating like that. Guess I should. What the fuck? Maybe if I decrease the shrinkage on this guy. Okay, cool. So I just decreased the shrinkage on the bottom layers, and now he's got a sweet little crop top, and we can kind of fix that here. If we just select all of these, pull them down. This is when my Clo starts to get a little crashy. It's a little crabby. Cool. Show the 3D pattern. We're gonna do this one again. Go and layer over. And 60 pressures. And add some anti-shrinkage. Save the project. It's probably really pretty well written code for this project. I just like don't use it the way a typical fashion designer would. Because I like wonky simulations, and I think my graphics card is like the coolest fucking thing ever. Cool, that looks good to me. Very neat, very swag. Go to animation and then go back to the first and then record it again. Took a minute for my simulation to cache, but okay, I'm gonna go back to animation, go to the first frame just in case anything messes up. And then I'm gonna select everything up here and hide 3D pattern. So now we just got the pantaloons. And we're gonna file, export alembic Ogawa, the Ogawa version, and name it pantaloons. These are my settings. Unified UV coordinates PNG is good if you're doing logo stuff. I can show you that later. We're just making some bangers, so, and then scale centimeters. It says Data Studio. That's also Cinema 4D's default if you're not a DAS guy or gal per se. Sweet, now we're going to go ahead and show this 3D pattern. Select the other one and hide it. File. You can export these as the same alembic file if you don't need to do different textures, or if you create textures through the UV editor within Clo3d. If you don't create, the only way to get good textures or like good logo placement is if you do the UV editor through Clo3d. Just a forewarning. Don't try to do it in Cinema 4D. It's a fucking nightmare. But check it out. Same settings. Bingo. Alrighty, so that's exporting, but I'm impatient and I am going to grab my pantaloons and open them up. Centimeters, frame rate 30. Bingo, you got your pantaloons right there. So I'm gonna be rendering this in Octane render, so I'm gonna go live viewer window and just bang smash that bad boy right there. You can start the Octane render if you so desire. Looks pretty bad. I'll usually do an HDRI environment, maybe a plane, and then a targeted area light. Bang smash this key light right about there, tone it way down, and then hold control to bring up another one, press the middle mouse button to go into this four-view thingy. These are targeted at the origin right now, which should work just fine, to be honest. Because there's no specular stuff going on with this particular render, I'm just going to hide these lights and place this rim light directly behind it. And maybe scale up this rim light a bit. Hide these lights in the renderer, not hide them, and you smell what I'm stepping in. Maybe pump this up a bit, maybe to 8. Get this guy at 8 as well. Just want to create some depth within the scene. And then I'm going to keep it as direct lighting because I'm going to be rendering a few of these out throughout the day. I'm going to change it to diffuse, go to camera imager and turn off denoiser because sometimes that makes my octane crash. And yeah, everything else looks fine. Adaptive sampling, sometimes I turn it on, sometimes I turn it off, just up the samples a bit. Adaptive sampling has also caused my Octane to crash, and I would rather just get a stable render than have it crash. So I'm gonna create a new Octane glossy material. I'm gonna pull up my material manager here. And in this Octane glossy, I'm just gonna make it black and then make the roughness one of these images that I found on Unsplash. I like this little oil spill looking thing. Create some cool, really pretty quick textures. So now we got our guy. I'll just add this to the whole crew. We got some pretty direct lighting on this, so I might duplicate this guy and change this to this icy texture on here. The gloss is actually the roughness in this case is what's causing that reflection. I kind of like it though. You know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. Then I'm gonna duplicate this by holding Control and moving it. And then this is like a little back wall. Dealio. Make sure it's far enough away. And these guys are connected. You can overshoot it a bit even. You can even overshoot it a bit. I might change this to specular and see what happens. That's pretty weird. Weird and wonky. Increase the UV tiles on here. This is all cosmetic stuff. That's why I'm kind of cruising through it. It's not real. Ain't real science going on here. Oh, that's kind of neat. Maybe if I could turn on the roughness, but clear this layer. It's kind of cool. I don't know. Or I could just go back to black glossy. And if I bring this guy up. So I do know what I'm doing here, but sometimes I enjoy experimenting to find different weird and wonky compositions with the lights and such. Swear to God, I know what I'm doing. Just doesn't look like it right now, okay? I'm just nervous. Cool beans. Bring that guy up above. And duplicate this, make it just black. And there we go. Cool beans. And then we can merge our file, merge objects. Chaqueta. Bingo. And I think this first Octane Glossy was what we were playing around with for everybody. Cool beans. And from here, just go to edit render settings. I'll do 2160 by 2160. Make sure that we're rendering through Octane. Render all the frames and save it somewhere that you'll find it. Again, tutorials, new folder, renders. Certain things that you should be creative with. File organization is not one of them. Reach into the choir here, but yeah. Sweet beans. Now we got our guy. He's just going through it. Whoa. This is a pretty simple scene setup. You can get more complex. You can bring in shit from Quixel mega scans or like anything but two planes to really make it pop. I'm a big fan of the rim lights. I don't like when they're like super overbearing, but I think they're super important to creating depth within any 3D scene. So usually with all of my lighting setups, I have a pretty abrasive rim light, or at least 3D lighting setups. Cool, so now all you need to do is just add it to the render queue, save the changes, and go for it. Looks like I haven't really finished a lot of my renders today, so bingo, bango, bongo. There you have it. I'll probably redo this with a simpler Clo3d setup, but yeah.